Morning. It is still blocked. They are still taking their time with this shit. Who knows when this will get passed, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I usually just do deals at nighttime. Yes, I did. Xian Yun. Good morning. Yeah, match delayed. Only 1 week though. Only 1 week though.
Kushida is actually fucking useful. Kushida has done more for the show than Sakura could ever imagine. It's not even a contest. Not even a contest. Easily Kushida. She might be an evil bitch, but at least she does something. What the fuck has Sakura ever done in her life? Nothing. Trash character, dude. Trash character. Absolute trash character. Only other character that's comes as trash as Kushi Sakura right now is fucking Saki from Snafu. That bitch also hadn't known anything. I hate characters that exist for the sake of existing. Like, what purpose do you serve to the plot? Nothing. You don't matter at all. Have you no shame? No, they don't, because they're fucking anime characters. That's not real. You should get a fucking automatic driver's license. No one gives a fuck about manual driving. No one gives a fuck about how cool you look fucking doing 13 different things multitasking when the other person auto driving is probably just doing the one same thing, just pressing a fucking pedal. Like, it does the job and it's safe. Why? I don't know. Manual seems cool until you realize, like, why the fuck do you need to press 10 buttons to do something when it should take you one button instead? You ever think about that? You ever play a game and it's like a really hard class to play and people are like, oh my god, this class is actually so cool. But then you realize that, hold up, I have to do like 20 times the work and effort to do the same shit that other class does so easily. To be honest, I think it's automatic is way better. In terms of convenience, you think girls give a fuck about manual driving? If they do, I think you picked the wrong girl. Manual cars are cheaper? That I don't know about. The author fucked up in my opinion of how he dealt with Sakura. Like, she just exists. That's it. She just exists. For what though? What reason does she serve? She has no reason. So why would the author fucking troll her like that? Like, why not like do something to make us feel like she could be useful in the future instead of just like waiting fucking like God knows how many volumes. Like, this is the third fucking season. The bitch still hasn't done anything. People said Sakura's gonna be important. Maybe she will be this arc. Yeah, that other bitch Sakura from Naruto is also really useless, right? That's where a lot of people are comparing Sakura to the Jujutsu Kaisen female character Nobara Kugisaki. Saying, oh damn, she's so useful. Damn, she's such a girl boss. She's she don't need to rely on no man, you know? Look what happened to her. Look what happened to... What was the point of her character in the story, to be honest? Like, actually ask yourself, what is the point of Nobara in the context of Jujutsu Kaisen? What has she really added to the plot? Like, tell me, straight up. Then again, you could really say that about any fucking character, because Jujutsu Kaisen isn't really supposed to be like a big brain, like, show. It's just battle shonen, you know? Like, it doesn't really matter. But, really think about it, the fuck did she do for the story? I don't know what she's done for the story, to be honest. Guys, Valentine's is coming up. Are y'all ready for your Valentine's dates? Are you guys all gonna get chocolates? Two more days. It should be one day for some of you guys. Is the next episode actually Valentine's? Sarcasm. Why would it be sarcasm? It would only be sarcasm if you truly believed that you were bitchless. Don't self-admit that. Hey, Nobara didn't die. No, Nobara didn't die. But I agree, I felt nothing when Nobara... Not the same way I felt with some other characters. Nobara I have no personal connections to, so I was like, yeah, I don't really care. But technically, her status is unknown. You never know, man. You never know. Alright, I think I'm ready to watch some videos. Oh, wait, what the fuck? This circle is insane. Hold up, let's do a little gambling. Let's do a little gamba right now. Hold the fuck up. Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, this one. Holy shit. Holy shit. Surely it's not gonna fuck up, right? Okay, just attack crit rate, attack crit rate, attack crit rate. That's fine. Attack crit rate, attack crit rate, attack crit rate, attack crit rate. Attack crit rates. Don't need this. Don't need this. Probably don't need this. Don't need that. This could be useful. Come on, attack rate, attack rate, attack rate. See how fucked this is? You start with like a piece that could be godlike. Has all the substats you need, but it just rolled into the wrong ones. Now it's fucking useless. Plus 15. Not a single roll into attack percent or crit rate. I got flat HP and percentage HP. This is fucked, man. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Alright, what videos do we gotta watch? Let's see. We already watched this one, I think. There are obviously new solo leveling videos that we should probably watch. Mr. Otaku Spirit, you got something for us?
I'm starting to get an idea why there's so many shady.
Alright, let's chill with the Otaku Spirit video quick. 3, 2, 1. Oh god, I'm tired. Oh god, I'm tired. Jeez. 3, 2, 1. Killing is a game. Fake rankers, really? We got Otaku Spirit's solo leveling episode 6 review. I don't know why he keeps calling this a reaction, but let's see what he got to say.
I'm starting to get an idea why there's so many shady things happening in dungeons.
Okay.
Like there's so much emphasis on the idea that people like are cutthroat in dungeons and that there's all these cases of people disappearing, all these shady stories. We're so lucky to be in a guild because we don't have to deal with like all these bad stories of people killing each other. The false rankers, all this kind of stuff about how people are killing.
The false rankers is very interesting though, huh? It's like a new precedence that hunters, sometimes they might not be as weak as you think, right? It might be an E rank hunter, but what if that E rank hunter like hit his strength during the test? So he's actually like an A rank hunter in disguise?
Killing each other in dungeons. Why is it happening? I don't know. Maybe because they suck at investigating these things.
Yeah, is there no like referee or like any sort of like regulator, some kind of admin that has like oversight in what goes on in dungeon? Because it seems like once the dungeon closes, it's done. So like all the shit that we did, you know, in terms of to Hwang Dong-suk's party, is it nobody can ever find out? The dungeon's just closed? That's it?
Like that was one of my jokes that I made with like what was it, third episode I think it was, where it had it kind of open up with Jinwoo and these guys show up to investigate the fact that yes, in this double dungeon somehow he made it out and they asked him no questions. This guy literally survived this dungeon and no questions asked. They just said touch this crystal ball, and it happens the same here where you have Jinwoo and Jinho come out of the dungeon and literally all the lady says is, "Oh, so you must have beat it solo and he ran and hide." That's not how you investigate.
Well, I think Jinho's pay-to-win armor might have enticed them, but there is a little bit of a logical gap in how people seem to just not question these little details,
You
right?
ask them what happened. You don't go, well, it's obviously you did it. And you
I mean,
just
look at his
ran and
armor.
hide."
Look at his
Okay,
armor.
Got it. You're not going to ask any questions? It's
Yeah, maybe this girl character is fucking mega dumb, but it's not that big a deal.
so dumb. It's so dumb. And again, it's probably why people are disappearing in dungeons because they're not investigating anything.
That's another thing, though. If people are actually straight up investigating, like disappearing from dungeons, should there not be some kind of like, I don't know, the police or some other squad you get in, like start to get like involved? Like, hold the fuck up. You're telling me Hwang Dong-suk's party, this guy keeps getting like these people signing up for quotas to be just like, they're just disappearing every time. There's nothing suspicious going on at all.
Anyways, I don't know. They could have another investigation. I'm sure there will be. It kind of insinuated at the very end of the episode that this guy's brother, I think that was the guy's brother.
The little bro.
Maybe he's going to get involved now because his brother's dead and he's going to want to figure out what happened.
The thing is, I don't know how it's gonna happen because I thought there was like they're on like bad terms in terms of like the big bro's like monologue about how he seems to have some kind of like complex against the younger bro who seems to be a lot more established. I mean, look at the fucking back muscles right now. Look at this rippling muscles. But if they're on bad terms, what motivation would the younger bro have to get like revenge on the big bro if he doesn't want to get revenge? Maybe he's just kind of interested in who is strong enough to take out someone like his big bro. I don't know.
Happened. Who knows? But anyways, decent episode. I did really like.
Decent episode? Man, Otaku Spirit standards are pretty fucking high. Everyone else is like, oh my god, this is the peak! Oh my god! You know, every fucking soul leveling video title, thumbnail is just going, ah! But, you know, I think we do that on every video for the sake of the YouTube algorithm.
This segment towards the later part with the kicking in of the music. Always love when you get some vocals inside of a show, especially when something technically very impactful is happening. I will say that I'm a little bit question mark on Jinwoo's kind of transformation into being technically a killer now. I don't know that I quite felt it. There was a little sense in there that why I think they handle it decently well, but I think that transformation is it's always a shady area. Like, how do you handle somebody taking a life for the first time?
I think that, like, you know, Otaku Spirit brings up a good point. Some characters, they will just nonchalantly gloss over the fact that they just kill someone for the first time in an isekai because those shows probably are more focused on comedy and doesn't really take itself too seriously. Some other shows might take itself very seriously and have the main character go through a fucking all 9 stages of fucking grief and just go through and be like, oh my god, I actually killed someone. What am I going to do with my life? To the point where they start to accept themselves. I felt like Sun Jin-woo's, well, first things first, he was forced to kill them, right? The system showed up and said, you gotta kill him right now. This is a quest, right? So not only was there that incentive, the second thing was, I think, that combined with the flashbacks that he had, because this isn't the first time that he's gotten betrayed, and he reminds himself again that, oh yeah, this is survival of the fittest. Remember last time, right? So these two things combined, and the fact that he's been changing throughout the last couple episodes, not in terms of just physical, physical appearance, but the mental psyches. I think that the way that they handled it was pretty good.
How do you handle somebody essentially killing? What is their mindset like? All that kind of stuff is always a massive question mark. I think it's justified. I have no questions there. I have no questions there. It's literally like justified. But it is always that question mark of how they handle that and how it goes forward. And it sort of got me questioning it. They could possibly go in the direction of what's the chances that Jinwoo Sung will go in the route of essentially it becoming a game to him. I guess that's the best way to put it. If this
But it is a game, and we are a player, and there was even a quest saying kill like 0 out of 6. You got to kill all 6 of them to become to pass this quest. Like, this is straight up a game, right?
this all becomes a game to him. If this is a quest, I have to complete the objective.
Yeah.
Complete the objective. So I guess it'll come down to what happens next. And I like how they're already kind of emphasizing heavily what I sort of predicted it was going the route of is, yes, this is a system or the statues or whatever it was that is trying to build him up.
There seems to be an actual incentive, yes, for the system. Whoever is like moderating this game, whoever the developer may be, whoever is an oversight of Sung Jin-woo right now, like clearly it's in their best interest that we keep getting stronger. Because like there's been a couple of times too mentioned about how in the previous episodes, like even the dungeons, they felt like they were pretty accurately scaled. Like they didn't just fuck him, they just kind of easily, they eased him into the whole thing to get him leveling up, to get all these different stats, to make him stronger, and now he's becoming a killer. For what though? It's like these are like super end game, story points that we're obviously not going to get the answers to yet.
And sure enough, in this situation, it sort of proves that in the idea of you're going to die. Here's a quest. Take care of it. Like it's almost like it's nudging him. Take care of this situation.
Yes.
You cannot die here. And he's
Why?
even accepting it. It doesn't want me to die. It wants me to get stronger. The system is using me. If I'm going to get used, I might as well use the system. Like if this is how it's going to be, I'll use it for my own advantage as well.
Surely there's no consequences that comes with this kind of power, right? Doesn't this seem a little bit too good? Like there has to be some kind of catch-22 at the end, right?
Which I guess is probably going to be the bigger picture. I'm going to assume that's where the story eventually goes is whenever that being that gave him this power, again, that was question mark of why is something in a dungeon making him stronger so that he can destroy the dungeons. Again, my assumption is going to be is that it's probably like a battle of gods. Like this.
Yes, Battle of Gods. Yes, I think he's making a good point here. If you've seen like Dragon Ball, like it's basically saying there's like a god that's representative of a universe, and they have all these different universes. They come together, and you do like a battle of gods where each universe is in like a battling another universe, and the gods are kind of like they're basically representative. So like so for example, the world or in that context, right, would be Sung Jin-woo. And then the god would be the developer, the admin, some kind of moderator that has oversight on Sung Jin-woo. And there's multiple different gods or different people, I don't know what these entities are, kind of like competing against each other by having their own players fight amongst themselves. I don't fucking know.
This whole system, this other world where the dungeons are at, there's gods and they maybe don't like each other. And so they're trying to build up one of these
I think that makes
players
sense, yes.
to essentially kill somebody that they don't like.
Or another thing could be as simple as, I don't know, if there's a bunch of multiple players, even though there's only one single game, and the god in this context, the incentive is for their players to get stronger faster so that they themselves can beat the game. You know what I mean? So obviously there's going to be a lot of more details specific to solo leveling that's going to change how we're structuring, this Battle of Gods concept. But you can kind of get the idea, the abstract framework of how a player and a god kind of behaves in this context, right?
And so, yes, it's using it. It's using him and getting him stronger so that eventually he can go and kill whoever else. And in his mindset, it is, okay, if you're going to do that, I'll use it to benefit myself. It makes perfect sense. So anyways, yes, the episode itself, them in there, he takes down the spider. Pretty awesome animation. Just jumping all over the place, flipping and dipping, slicing and...
This spider fight ended so fucking quick, though. Holy.
There was kind of one oddity here in the anime. They never said bleed effect in the anime. The manhwa does technically...
I thought there was only a paralysis effect, and wasn't there a paralysis and kind of some damage over time? Was that the bleed?
He kind of emphasized that he's causing a bleed effect, and that technically comes into play later on when he's fighting the other guys.
Drain?
When I was watching the anime, it suddenly out of nowhere the guys start like gushing blood out of their eyeballs and falling over, and I'm like, is that what paralyzed does to humans? Like it didn't make any sense. Like
I thought it was some kind of like poison damage over time effect.
the lifesteal, I guess it could have been the lifesteal and a paralyze. But in actuality, I don't know. I'm guessing it's an effect of his attacks. He's causing a bleed effect. Not that the dagger itself has a bleed effect. But yeah, that's what he's doing is he's causing a bleed effect, and he causes a bleed effect upon
paralysis
that.
plus
Yes,
drain.
I'm glad that this is something that actually came back up again. It was that aspect of like, okay, he has this reward that is full recovery.
Damn, bro, we don't have to fucking use it. We can just straight up save. We can straight up save the what's it called? What the fuck just happened to my chat? Anyway, you can just straight up save the rewards and just like abuse it in the future. Isn't that insane? So I wonder how long this will like stack over. For example, yeah, we had the full recovery based on today's dailies. But like, what if we didn't use it? What if we stack the reward until tomorrow and beyond? So do we get multiple full recoveries? That'd be a little busted, huh?
My question mark at the time was like, I wonder if this is going to be like you acquired the skill recovery. But no, it was like a one-time use reward. Sure enough, what my question mark in the last episode was like, I wonder if he never did the jog part, because when we left off that quest, he hadn't done the jog yet, and then he went off into this whole job. And
that's another thing, right? Because like we don't have to do all the dailies in one go. And I've been saying this since the moment they fucking talked about teleportation of how to get in and out of dungeons. Like, if we're gonna abuse the daily quest and rewards like this, what about the daily quest penalty? What if in this dungeon the timer went off in terms of how long you had to finish the dailies in a day, right? And like you were still in a dungeon. Would we be torted out? Is it like a fucking free jail, get out of jail card? And then what? Do you get put back in? I don't really know, but I think that buys you like fucking 4 hours, right? I think that'd be a fucking insane mechanic.
My joke that I made at the time is watch he goes this dungeon, everything happens, he comes out of the dungeon, and suddenly he's like, well, that was a great dungeon, and suddenly it pops up saying, you did not do your running, and then it penalizes him.
Exactly. No, straight up, no. If it penalizes him, what happens though? Then he gets ported out, and Jinho has to fight the spider by himself?
Had it sitting there. He procrastinated it, and sure enough, it became beneficial. It's kind of one of those things of like, I wonder if there's a limit to when he could actually accept it. Like, it is one of those cases that if he doesn't accept the rewards, he'll get penalized, or...
Yes. Does it stack, or does it, like, reset every day, right? That's what I want to know.
Or if it just goes away. So, yes.
And another thing is the stats, right? I doubt the stat allocation would ever go away. That would be so cruel in a game system if you... Because, like, you get bonus stats, but obviously you don't have to, like, allocate your stats right then. But, like, if you keep just, like, stacking these stats, you know, dailies, boom, 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 and then all of a sudden you're in a battle... And you're like, shit, I'm getting my ass beat. But then you realize, oh yeah, I got like 20 points saved up. Why don't I just put all these 20 points into a certain stat and make me stronger right now? I feel like, you know, that kind of thing could also happen.
That does make sense. Do your quest, go to a dungeon, you get a free heal. It's super cool how at least something like that, the writer has kind of fully thought out. Like, this can be something that I can use later on. So yeah, he used that in order to regenerate himself, take down the boss. During the time that he's fighting... Jinwo, the stuff around him kind of bug me. I get that they're trying to play out this rookie. He's a rookie. He's panicking. He doesn't know how to respond to things. He's doing cool things, like, again, the whole thing with the contract with Jinwo Song, trying to help him out with that. But at the same time, like, just sitting there, like, you're literally in a situation where these guys betrayed you. They stuck you in this dungeon. You're essentially up against a boss that you in his mind, never going to be able to beat this thing. We're dead. Plain and simple. But then he's just sitting there going, oh, what is Sung doing? Oh, that reminds me of the Fakers. And it's like, why is this guy thinking about all this dumb stuff when literally he's in a life or death situation? It's fine.
Was his reactions not, like, normal, I guess? Like, Jinho's behavior during that spider encounter, did it come off that weird? To be honest, I was too busy getting excited for Sung Jin-woo to pop off that I wasn't really paying attention to Jinho's behavior.
It was a reason to expedition dump that there's the existence of people that apparently fake their rank. Or they have the ability to lower their power so that they can fake their rank, get into lower dungeons and kill people.
Yeah.
I don't know. The world takes all people.
I don't know. It could be setting up for like a future arc. There's people that like intentionally hide their strengths to what? Fucking masquerade around in low-length dungeons to just fuck them up. But they would get like shitty rewards. Maybe they're just shitty people that just wants to, I don't know, psychologically just manipulate and scare other hunters by making them feel like they're just as weak as them.
People, the faker rankers, that I guess like
Smurfs.
there's enough of them that they have a name for it. I mean, I can understand that like there was one person that was a psychopath and he realized that he could it doesn't make any sense logically. Okay, so in this world, you essentially have people, they will awaken to their powers.
Like the only reason you would ever want to smurf is if you just want to fuck with people on a personal level, because everything scales with your rank. Like you don't want to be smurfing around. You get low level rewards. Everything is just way shittier. But if this person, this fake hunter, his only goal did not care about money or the loot, just wants to fuck around with low rank hunters and like just like manipulate them, that's the only way I can see this happening.
They will go into this system, they will touch this crystal ball, it will tell them what their rank is, it'll tell them what their mana is, whatever, and then they get assigned their rank. So the assumption
You can hide your power. Like you can like calibrate whatever this power level is at the time of getting graded by the machine. So instead of showing all 100% of your power, maybe show just 20% of your power is what I'm understanding.
is that the moment that they awaken, like Jinwo Song, he was a construction worker and suddenly went, you know, that little shock thing like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and then the realization that he got some powers was that he was carrying a fucking sack, something, and he awakened, then he could lift the sack a little bit easier. That was it. That's how tiny, an insignificant amount of a power bump it was.
The shock thing happens, and he goes, oh,
I'm a little
I think I
stronger.
awakened.
I got 10
And
points.
I guess at
Great.
that point, some people can go, oh, I awakened to the ability to lower my mana, so I'm going to lower it before I go in there and touch the thing. That way I can kill people in dungeons.
I guess now we're going into the details of if someone just awakened and they're just about to get tested, how could this new person have such control over their power? Then you can make the logical fucking jump of, all right, let's say this person awakened, but they, instead of going right into getting graded, they just learn how to fuck around with their powers and eventually learn how to manipulate it to the point where they can suppress it, so then they can abuse the system. I don't know where we're going with this.
I guess, like, that logic is a little bit of a stretch for me. That logic is I mean, I guess they can go in there, touch the ball, and be given like a C rank or something like that. But then they get the knowledge that, oh yeah, I can lower my rank, and then they go in there and get
Reassessment? That's another thing, I guess.
reevaluated, and it
Yeah,
goes, oh wow,
maybe.
some reason you lowered your rank. But that would be like a massive question mark, because that would be
would
almost
be.
like a reawakening. I don't know. I'm thinking too much of it.
It's like a de-awakening.
It just sounds dumb. Like when that whole thing came up, I'm like, there's people like that, I guess. I mean, I could see one or two people in, you know, thousands of years, but making a name for it kind of insinuates that there's a lot of people that are nuts enough that they're going to lower their rank, go into lower rank dungeons just to kill people. All right, moving on.
All right, moving on.
I just wish there was, I guess my whole point here is I wish there was another explanation of why somebody would do that. Besides somebody just being a psychopath that wants to kill people in dungeons.
That's the only incentive, because again, every reward scales with your fucking ranks. There's no reason to be fucking around in lower ranked dungeons and being smurfing unless all you wanted to do was just murder other people and have fun.
Dungeons. That just seems like a bit of a stretch
That's it,
for
man.
somebody to go out of their way to do. I mean, you can kill. Again, the idea is that things happen in dungeons and nobody ever.
Well, I mean, like, for example, I don't know. Because, like, if you smurf and you're categorized as a low rank, I was going to make the argument that maybe the person just wants to fuck around in low rank dungeons and kill people. But when times comes and they need some money to hustle, they could, I don't know, go to a high rank dungeon and clear that as well because they're pretty strong. But it's like, they would never get the clearance to get accepted into such high rank dungeons because they were already assigned to low rank. You know what I mean?
Ever knows.
I don't
So it's
know.
a really good way to be able to kill people, but still, whatever. But yeah, he kills the spider immediately. Jinho was like, Aniki, boss, what do you want me to do, boss? Boss, can you get some water, boss? Can I take?
Bro actually got him a cup of water. I mean, he was really quick with it. I think basically, I'm not sure if this is a trope, a common trope, or some cultural thing, but basically that depiction of Jinho just going like, oh, Aniki, just giving him boss some water and stuff like that. That's kind of like how you're basically just super sucking up, but it kind of plays into like this like elder structure in Asian culture where you want to treat your big bro well. It's the big boss, you know. You gotta make sure they get their first drink, make sure they're not tired, get them a towel, stuff like that. But I thought it was like a pretty funny moment.
Take a quote, boss. Like he instantaneously becomes like a Yakuza pawn, just kind of like, what do you want to do, boss?
Yeah, Yakuza trope. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, exactly.
That was funny. In the manhwa, they bust through the entrance where they caved it in, so it was kind of odd they changed it to where they came out of the upper tunnels So that was how they came back in. Whereas, yeah, anyways. And yes, they give
I think the upper tunnel one was just to make them look imposing, kind of intimidating, so that they're like looking down at us with their red eyes.
Yo the option to join them as an accomplice. I don't know. I don't think he was planning on that. I think he was just trying to figure it out, because it kind of insinuates that, yes, he sees, okay, this spider's dead. And yeah, all the guys are joking like, man, this spider was probably weaker than we thought it was. If they can kill it, that thing.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, the smart thing for them to realize is like, holy shit, they actually killed a spider. That's crazy. Maybe we can't kill these kids. Maybe we should like try to be safe here. But no, classic anime villain trope is like, they're so dumb, they don't even realize what's going on. Instead, they kind of play along with them. They're like, oh, the spider must have been so weak, it's not to kill them. But it's like, little did they know.
Thing must have just been super weak or something. But Dong Suk is like, no, Jinho has some really expensive armor. Like his father is a boss.
Yeah,
So
construction CEO.
probably something about his armor, his equipment, that is making him super powerful.
Let's loot the kid too.
So it's kind of one of those things where I think he was trying to suss it out, like figure out what can he do. Okay, kill Jinho, like kill him really quickly, and then we'll get an idea of what his armor actually is. It could have been that he was trying to get him under his wing, and again, I think it's more the fact that he was afraid of what kind of equipment that Jinho has, because it shouldn't.
I think bro just wanted to, loot, the kid's armor, but maybe even use him as a hostage for like fucking extorting money because the dad sounds like a construction CEO. I don't know how that would turn out, right? At that point, you become just public enemy number one. You're pretty much coming out as a terrorist, and you're saying we demand, this much, like $1 billion for the release of Jinho. I don't think they would ever go like that, but bro just saw the dollar signs in his eyes as soon as he saw the fucking armor.
Have happened. He literally just sold this boss. But yeah, of course, Jinho didn't do it. The manhwa sort of had where Jinho was walking over towards Jinwo. He's like, Jinwo was thinking about how,
I'm sorry, he keeps saying Jinwo. It's why doesn't he just say Jinwoo? It's Song Jinwoo. The way that he says these names is fucking, it trips me out every time. I don't know who he's talking about.
It makes sense. I understand that you're gonna betray me. You're gonna betray me because I'm weaker. It makes sense. They didn't.
That's how it should have gone. He was expecting it based on all the other shitty characters. But our boy Jinho is so good. He's such a well-mannered kid. He already called us big boss. Obviously, he's not going to betray us. Bro literally gets in front of us and said, get behind me, Aniki. I got you.
For some reason, didn't have that in the anime. But yeah, Sung did have some thoughts there that he was going to betray him. But it was like funny because I'm like, yeah, I can see why Jinho would do this. Like, he's going to be like, I'm not going to betray this guy.
I think he realized the potential that Sung Jinwoo had and immediately aligned with him. I don't think, sure, you can say that this is just a well-mannered, nice kid, protecting big bro like this. But, I think that bro understood that there is such potential with Jinwoo, and that me teaming up with him is going to get me much further ahead in life than anything else. So you guys could say that he's being just like a nice kid. I think this is a cold, calculated move by Jinho to fucking prove his loyalty.
Ain't no way in hell. You're not going to get me to kill him because he's a good dude. We've already established that Jinho is a good dude. But there was a side of me that's like, yeah, but can you take it? There's a side of me that's like, yeah, but he's also not going to betray Jinwo because he just watched him solo a boss.
True.
Putting aside whether or not he's a good person, you have two parties.
Who would you align with? The guy that just sold the fucking spider, or these dudes that just went out to get some pickaxes because they were scared? I'm gonna team up with Jinwoo, man.
Put aside everything that involved in this situation, you have two parties here. This one guy that just sold an extremely powerful boss, and then you have this group over here that literally left you to dead and ran off. I think he's gonna kill them. I'd rather be on this side of the fight.
True.
What I just seen him do, I'm gonna be on this party.
All my bet is on him.
It was just because he's a cool dude. But yeah, this is where we get Jinwo getting his first quest to kill people. I'm just saying that. I'm assuming that later on he's probably gonna have to do this again.
I wonder if you're gonna keep getting quests. I don't know which show I watched, but basically there was a similar situation like this where you were basically given a quest to do, for example, kill 6 people, right? But in the anime or the show that I watched, I can't really remember the details. There was this fucked up scenario where the 6 people were randomly chosen, and there was a situation where it was like your friends, like it was your family, and it's like you gotta kill them. Like, wouldn't it be crazy if the system told him to like kill his fucking mom or sister for the sake of something? Like, what the fuck?
I don't have any spoilers for you guys. I just read up to where the anime ends every episode. But yeah, he gets knocked back. In the manhwa, it specifically says, why is he still alive? Are you getting weaker? The mage literally goes, no, I used full power. There's no, he should not be alive.
Oh, okay. This one attack here from this mage, maybe I underestimated him, but Sang Jin-woo looked pretty fucking bad after this attack. But more context. So he used his full strongest attack. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
How did I miss? That was the only question mark that he had. Did I miss? But he does emphasize here, no, I'm not weaker. I literally...
When I saw this panel, I was like, oh god, are you fucking serious? We look so bad right now, dude.
He used the highest power that I could possibly do. It kind of shows Jinwo's HP afterwards. He's like half HP, but that could partially be because he was fighting the spider. But it was a powerful hit. But no, Jinwo gets his quest. His quest to kill 6 in the anime. I don't know why they changed it from 8 to 6, but it's 6 in the anime. There's 6 people there. It was kind of interesting to me for some reason. I do this. That it said specifically 6. So that means that it did not see Jin-ho as a threat, nor did the system want Jin-ho out. Because this could have created a massive conundrum if it said 7. Because that would...
That's what I'm talking about, right? This is the situation I'm talking about. It's like being put into a situation, a fucked up one, where it's like, what? Really? I gotta kill my friend too, right? Could you imagine if it's 7? And we had to kill Jin-ho too? Would he have done it? I don't know. What happens if you don't finish the quest? It said you get a penalty, an appropriate penalty. It's the same wording as failing a daily quest. Now, are we going to get sent to the fucking sand dungeon again and fight the centipede? I'm not sure what the appropriate penalty would be.
Apply, like, the system does not want Jin-ho to be alive to be a witness, so to speak. But essentially, yes, it's telling him, kill these 6 guys because they are people seeking to kill the player. They want to kill Jin-ho. Not they want to kill both of you, that they just want to kill you. And that can't happen. The system itself...
Did it say ask the heart would stop? Are you sure? When did you guys ever see that? The only part that I said the heart will stop will say, will you accept this quest? If you don't accept this quest, your heart will stop in 0.02 seconds. That's accepting courage of the weak. We're talking about this killing quest. Not a single moment did I ever see in that quest that it would say your heart would stop if you didn't complete this quest. I saw appropriate penalty would be applied in red font. Are you guys capping right now? What the fuck are you talking about?
Is wanting to get stronger.
He was having a breakdown during the moment where he was having all the flashbacks. Was there like a scene where the panel kind of showed up and said the heart would stop? It did. So during the whole mental breakdown of Sang Jin-woo, like thinking about the past and like justifying in his head why, you know, it's survival of the fittest and I need to do this, there was like a single panel. Are you sure? Are you sure that wasn't a fucking panel just referring back to the courage of the weak? I'm pretty sure what you guys talking about are rapid fire of different scenes going on that was a flashback to the courage of the weak panel and not necessarily punishment for this current quest. I think you guys are fucking capping.
But additionally, doesn't want him dead. Doesn't want him dying. So you need to kill these 6 and... Well, it's interesting because the actual text in the anime says defeat them. And I was curious if it's going to turn into a thing where all he had to do was just knock them out. But no, what he says, no, they want me to kill. But I will be curious if later on, if it will pop up this, or somebody, like the system itself talks to him later on or something like that, and he's like, you made me kill 6 people. No, we told you to defeat them. You chose to kill them.
That would be like an interesting way of, oh, I never had to kill them before. That's kind of fucked up. It's like, damn, I was killing all these people the entire time. I didn't realize, but I never told you to. You know what I mean?
I wonder if it's gonna be like one of those like little like, you know, manipulation things. Like, no, I didn't actually say that. I said to defeat them. You chose to kill them. So you lop their heads off.
I think we're going off a little fan fiction territory right now because I don't think that's actually happening, right?
You made them bleed. You could have just knocked them out. I'd be curious about that. That would be like a super twisted thing to kind of throw right back in his face. And yes, technically be a lot more interesting, in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, he bleeds, paralyzes everything, all these guys, takes them all out, slicing them up. It was kind of interesting that one guy kind of puts his arm around him and he just kind of goes casually. And I was like, why?
Just puts the armor around, just shing.
Would you let him do that? And
I think. Wait, what do you mean? Like Sung Jin Woo letting the armor around? I think that's like a cliche bullying scene. Like I don't know. I've seen so many scenes in like webtoons or different animes of like it's like a delinquent and like the kid that gets bullied, the one that they put the armor around. It's like, hey, come on, give me another drink. I think they were just kind of playing into that cliche.
yes, technically it was because they didn't know he had a weapon. Takes them all out, goes to Dong Suk. Dong Suk says, whatever. I have the ability to reinforce myself. He's not going to be able to hit me with that. Whatever poison he's doing there, it's not going
Didn't
to hurt
matter.
me. He just slams his head.
We just slammed his fucking head down. The animation was synchronized with the song too.
Yeah. Cuts his head off. It was kind of interesting to have that little brief moment of like trying to panic and trying to give him money. I'll
Yeah,
throw,
right, that
throw money
scene.
at the issue. Hopefully he'll stop. No, you're not gonna get away with it. You just said like everything that happens in Dungeon Vegas stays in Dungeon Vegas. Cut it off. And then yes, the following scene where he goes out with Jinho and the lady literally asks no questions, but instead makes her assumptions and writes down on the report and walks away because
I mean, the armor was really nice and shiny, but if we really wanted to nitpick at the show, that is a bit of a plot hole, I guess, right? Does it need to be addressed? I don't think so. I think it was just like a scene of, oh, how did you beat it? We don't really have an answer, but look at this kid's armor. Don't worry about it. All right, we'll forget about it and we move on. Like, sure, would I want like a fucking FBI investigation into Sung Jin Woo based on his fucking, like, if we had like a subplot of some kind of police force from the guild association that like hunts, that like tracks down, you know, suspicious activities and like she's after Sung Jin Woo. Do we need that? I'm not really sure.
for some reason the Hunter Association sucks at investigating.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know. They might
Yeah, they
investigate
do.
something later on.
I mean, all the people. Hwang Dong-suk has gotten, you know, who knows how many times he's gotten away with this over and over again, getting people to sound to his party and killing them so they can loot more. Who knows how many years this has been, right? So whatever.
I did like a little bit of the inner conflict that's kind of happening within Jung Ho Sung during this entire thing because it is an aspect of. I think I got too caught up in
Who the fuck is Jung Ho Sung? I swear to God, look, I'm not even trying to be mean, but this dude, I don't know who he's referring to. Sometimes he says Jin Ho, fucking Sung Jin Wo, Jung Ho Sung? Who the fuck is Jung Ho Sung?
Jung Ho Sung during this entire thing.
Jung Ho Sung? Sung Jin Woo or fucking Jin Ho? Who is it?
Because it is an aspect of. I think I got too caught up in the leveling and this whole process.
I'm getting too caught up in the fucking namings right
Getting
now.
stronger and figuring out the system itself that I forgot the most important thing.
What is
The
it?
most important thing about dungeons themselves, the thing that I had pounded in my head for so many years, I forgot. The fact of survival of the fittest.
So many years. Oh, he's talking from this perspective of Sung Jin Woo. I'm like, oh my god, is this guy thinking about solo leveling for this many years?
The fact of the weak get exploited. Remembering all those moments, especially like
society.
with Double Dungeon, being left behind to dead, all that kind of stuff. Because I'm weak, they're going to leave me to die. Because
That's why I will be strong and I'll flip it against it. I think that whole, I mean, that's the world, right? It's not even just this dungeon. Like, obviously, like, people, like, survival of the fittest is obviously applied to a lesser degree in modern life. Like, you don't just die nowadays for just, you know, being, like, back in the day when you're just in caveman era, you straight up, if you're just weak, you just die. But obviously, as society progresses, you know, you got modern technology, medicine, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, survival of the fittest still does apply in the real world. And like, I guess Sung Jin Woo's like a situation in the dungeon, the way that he got betrayed, the way that he kept remembering it was important to build up to this critical point where he uses it as a justification to actually kill, which I think is fully deserved.
I'm weak. Jin Ho
Hwang
Yo
Dong-suk's
is
side.
going to betray me and side with them.
Yeah.
Because I am weak, they're going to kill me so they can exploit me and take all the money in this dungeon. That is a major point of this whole thing, is realizing that. But at the same time, coming to that realization in front of Dong Suk that I'm not weak.
You're
weak.
weak. Yeah.
Because that's how this works. Because you're hunters, you guys are aware that you can get hunted too. Because you are weaker than me.
That's right. There was like a really cool line. I think the first time I saw a line like this being used was in One Piece in the earlier arcs where a fucking bunch of bandits like attacked like Shanks's group. And like they put a gun. They like point a gun towards us. And then Shanks is like, "You sure you want to do that? You put a gun on my face, you better be ready to kill. And then immediately, one of his men just, boom, Lucky Roo just shoots him in the side of the head and is like, huh. If you were ready to point a gun at me, then you should have been ready to die, right? I think that point was really cool. It's like, well, shit, you were trying to kill me. It's like, why wouldn't you expect to be killed yourselves?
And you were going to kill me because I was weak. Obviously, I can kill you because you're weak. It's coming that realization. And it is, again, a question mark as to how well this writer handles that. Because, again, that's a big choice. That is a
Sorry, my lighting went out there.
massive choice. And the routes that it can go is the aspect of, yes, he could become traumatized by this. He could become, he could, next scene, he's puking on the ground or puking in the toilet because he's realizing all these memories of killing guys. Oh, that sensation of slicing them. All that stuff can come into his head. Or it can go the route of, it's a game and I'm losing.
I think that his mental rigidity, his mental armor, his mental strength, I think it'll be changing. I don't think he'll have like a moment of, oh my god, I'm gonna start puking, like what have I done with my life? I think bro's just gonna continue to just like evolve, and like the way that his physique is changing, and I believe his mentality will also change to the point where all these killings will just become just second nature to him.
Losing
Probably.
touch of reality, or just simply, it is what it is. I'm going to use the system because I got to get stronger. Shrug,
I
walk
think,
away,
yeah.
which they'll probably.
I think that's what they're gonna do, right?
I don't know. We'll see. Anyhow, that's my thoughts on episode 6 of Solo Leveling. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure.
I just don't know why he calls it a reaction. Maybe it's for search engine optimizations, but y'all know what to do. Please go give Mr. Otaku Spirit likes. Sub to his channel if you enjoyed it. I know that this video might go up before my reaction goes out. Yeah, we're dealing with limited ads right now. It's unfortunate, but the episode itself was fantastic though, right? We're finally getting through this like bridge of like becoming like changing from the Jinwoo that we used to know versus this K-pop idol guy that we see in the posters. It's cool to see the physical transformation, but also like the mental transformation of how he deals with like killing people. I'm sure it's gonna be addressed a little bit in the next video. But yeah, that's it for me. The lighting fucking just went out here. I think the power outlet just fucking buzzed out. Hold up 1 second, guys. Oh, I can't believe I can't believe my video is still fucking pending review. These lazy motherfuckers. Jesus Christ. Like, Jesus. Like, bro, this fucking sucks. Is it on Patreon? Of course it's on Patreon, and people have already seen it on Twitch live. Like, you already know this. Like, you know, if you click on every video, you see a fat Patreon and Twitch link to tell you guys know that, hey, you want to see this shit live, the entire thing, just show up on Twitch. But no one seems to understand how the system works. Bad. That's fucked up. Everyone else is fucking farming solo leveling like crazy, and I'm fucking put in the detention room, dude. I'm fucking put in the detention. Can't fucking upload my solo leveling video. This is some bullshit. It'll be up soon. Who knows when? Bad news is I'm not able to take advantage of the well, I think uploading a day or two late, honestly, even a week late, probably isn't like it's not a deal breaker. Your channel's, your video's not gonna just like do bad because you uploaded late. As long as your audience actually wants to watch, I'd say if anything, it builds up anticipation and would make the video perform better upon release. But still sucks that like obviously new people are gonna be like typing solo leveling or reaction and stuff like that upon the episode release. So being early definitely does help. And it sucks that I'm just getting fucked. I have no one else to blame but myself though. It's literally just my commentary. It's just literally just the things that I'm saying is too unhinged, and the YouTube automated bot is catching keywords, and I don't think it's even the swearing, because I swear the same amount in every other video. It's just fuck. Solo leveling back to back, man. Solo leveling back to back. I think that trying to be early as possible, trying to get a reaction out. Intuitively, it does make sense, but I would argue that people's excitement won't be gone, because what you're not understanding is you're seeing it from the lens of people's excitement for solo leveling episode 6. But what you don't understand is people watch me not for solo leveling. They watch me for my reaction to solo leveling. There's already like hundreds, thousands of solo leveling reactions out there. But it doesn't matter, because everyone's reactions are unique, and their excitement for that episode reaction won't die because that's anticipated of my own unique reaction, if you know what I'm talking about. Now, this isn't like an ego thing, and obviously, in a grand, wider scale, like in like a bigger, like seeing, like taking a step back from a bigger lens. Obviously, new people that don't know who I am, they don't have that desire, of course. And me being early is going to help capture their attention and eventually turn them into regular community members. But at the end of the day, it's not a deal breaker being a little late. What do you want me to do during a fucking OST reaction? You want me to fucking sit there and just listen to the song? Like, I don't understand why you guys, like, why people give a shit about music reactions. You just want to watch, like, what's there to fucking talk about? There's nothing to talk about. You sit there and go, oh my god, this is so good! I see that shit and I'm like, this is so fucking dumb. What value do you get out of me sitting there fucking shaking my head saying, oh my god, this part's so good. This part. I fucking hate music reactions. There's nothing to do other than just fucking swing your head and say, wow, this is great. Wow. Unless you're an actual fucking musical composer that can break down the musical mechanics, the instruments, and the things being used, there is nothing of value that a typical fucking reactor can provide for openings or reactions, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Happy birthday, Ren Sakai. Hope you have a great day, man. But I think that's why, like, I'll still do opening reactions. Like, I'll still do any reactions because that's what we just do live on Twitch, right? We just jam up. But I just feel like there is no value received from watching another dude listen to a song. Like, just, like, okay, where's the fucking sound? Where's the OST? Give me the title of the OST right now. I'll give you a demo of what it'll look like. What is the OST? What is the name? Where is it? Where is it? Dark Aria. Alright, Dark Aria. Alright. Why does it already have a name? What the fuck? Oh, he already released it. The official version? It's a music video? Oh, they synchronized the fucking, because usually anime soundtracks don't come out until, like, you know, fucking, what's the word, until the anime season is fully finished. But like, they actually uploaded on his main channel I'm gonna upload that. I'm gonna 100% upload this clip later on. Fuck. Then the title is gonna be, "This is why I won't." No. It's gotta be something like it's gotta be like reacting to Dark Aria, but instead like, "This is why I won't react to Dark Aria." You know, stuff like that. Oh, dude, I'm ready to start a shit pot with this, actually. Because there's a lot of people are going to be upset about this. And they're going to say, like, no, that's music reaction don't suck. You just suck at doing music reaction. And I'd say, yeah, you're right. You're honestly right. You're honestly right. Exactly. Exactly. We're gonna just take advantage of the fucking trends right now. Yes. We are absolutely going to do that. Yes. Yes. I mean, fuck, if I can't upload Solo Leveling at the fucking... At the very least, I can farm Dark Aria, right? Like, fuck, it's still got limited ads. Like, shit. How long is it gonna take to fucking review this bullshit, man? You know what? Maybe we can... Maybe that's like the beginning of like a new meta that we can do. Where it's like sarcastic music reactions, you know? Or basically, I just do that every time. You know what I'm saying? It'll be... like non-serious, the same over the top, just me yelling like a fucking monkey. But it's gotta be like a new people won't understand. Only community members will understand. You know what I mean? New people will be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? But I think that it'd be hilarious if every like anime opening or soundtrack reaction from now on was just like that. Now we're actually thinking. Now we're fucking thinking. Yes, we're thinking about new metas, guys.
Jerk, you don't seem to remember your position here. Sadu, irritated, impulsively struck his desk. Immediate silence.
Oh god.
followed. Please calm
Yeah,
down.
1.25, yeah.
Right now, we're merely listening to what both parties have to say. Kamiya-kun, we ask that you two please show some restraint and not interrupt. Pew, fine. Both parties insist that the other called them over, so the accounts conflict. However, the stories share some commonality. There was a dispute between Sadu-kun, Kamiya-kun, and Kondo-kun, correct? I wouldn't call it a
We're in the what's it called? We're in the the room where, you know, the judgment is happening right now. We're basically talking. Yeah, this is the court scene. Yep.
dispute. Sadu-kun's always picking fights with us. Picking fights? Sadu's better at basketball than we are, so he's always bragging about it. We practice with everything we've got, but it doesn't exactly feel good when he makes fools out of us, so we often butt heads. I didn't really know the details of Sadu's club activities, but when I saw the veins popping on his forehead, it was rather obvious that they were lying. Next, Secretary Tachibana spoke to Sadu. Not one bit of what Kamiya said was true. Those guys are just jealous of my talent. When I practice, they constantly get in my way. That's the truth. Naturally, both sides claimed that the other party was at fault. Both sides have given their grievances, but now we have to come to a judgment with the collected evidence. Sadu-kun beat us senseless. It was a one-sided fight. Class C seemed intent on focusing the discussion on their injuries. The three students.
Because the injuries actually exist. We have no proof. Right now, this is he said, she said bullshit. No one fucking knows, but at least they have injuries to prove it.
Did seem to have black and blue faces. That was undeniable. That's a lie. They attacked first.
This is the 37th time that I gotta address this, but every time someone new comes in saying, bro, why are you reading this one? Why not the other audiobooks? I intentionally choose this audiobook series because of the way they butcher their names. That's it.
It was self-defense. Hey, Horikita, I whispered to Horikita, who remained mute and kept her head down. Clearly, this situation was really bad. If we wanted to stop Sadu from getting carried away, we had to take action sooner rather than later. However, she showed no reaction. It was as if her mind was gone. Did her brother's mere presence truly have this much of an effect?
It's time to tickle her.
I flashed back
You gotta
to
tickle her,
them
man.
talking behind the dormitory. I didn't really understand the depth of the situation, but I suspected that Horikita had chased after her extremely talented brother, enrolling in the same school to make him recognize her abilities. But regardless of her hopes and talents, the younger sister in Class C was still very far away from her brother, the Class A Student Council president. To prove herself, she'd have to rise up to the same arena as him. If Class D has no further proof to offer, would you mind if we continued the proceedings? If the Student Council and the teachers continued to sit in complete silence, their judgment would almost certainly be merciless. To prevent that, We needed Horikita to rouse herself into action. However,
Tickle her.
our team's most crucial member withered and shrank before her older brother. It would seem there's no objection, given the arguments we've heard thus far. The student council president finally spoke. Horikita's older brother seemed as though he wanted to draw a conclusion as soon as possible. Regardless which party called the other over, the fact remains that it was a one-sided fight between Sadu and the other students. We can clearly see that from the injuries they sustained. We have no choice but to come up with a conclusion based on that. Wait, I can't accept that. It's just because those guys were a bunch of wimps. The moment that Sadu uttered those words, I saw Sakagami.
You fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. How are you gonna call them wimps, you idiot? It just makes you look
The
worse.
sensei smile. Then can it really be considered self-defense
fucked
when
up.
fighting against opponents of such unequal strength? But, hey, I was fighting against three people. But
You call them wimps still and they have injuries. It just makes you sound worse, you dumbass.
only the Class C students were hurt. This was getting worse. I resigned myself to the fact that I might be killed later for doing this. But I got up slowly from my folding chair and stood behind Horikita. I stretched
Tickle.
my arms out and grasped her sides as hard as I could.
Wait, what?
Chair and stood behind
So in the light novel, he actually got up from the chair and got behind Suzune.
Horikita. I stretched my
Like in the anime, we just kind of tickled her on the side, but he just straight up got up and got behind her?
arms out and grasped her sides as hard as I could.
Wait, is there a light novel illustration for this? Volume 2 illustrations. Is there a tickle scene? I don't think so, right? No, this is not the tickle scene, no. There should be a tickle scene illustration, man. I feel like that's like an iconic moment, right?
Hi up, Horikita cried out in an abnormally girlish voice.
Abnormally girlish.
This was not the time or place for me to focus on that. Since she hadn't yet regained her sanity, I grabbed her more forcefully and tickled her. Wait. Stop.
Tickled
No
her more
matter how upset
forcefully.
or dazed a person was, if you stimulated the body enough, they'd come back to her senses, even if they didn't like it. The teachers seemed somewhat taken aback by my actions, but right then I didn't care. When I believed I'd roused
Wonder what Manabu thought about this moment. Did he even realize this is happening? That his little sister was getting tickled? He probably doesn't care at all.
enough, I let go. Horikita, looking like she was about to cry, glared at me with startling intensity. I'd had to force her, but I knew it was essential to return Horikita to her usual self. Get a grip on yourself, Horikita. We're going to lose at this rate. You have to fight. TCH. Horikita looked at Class C, then the teacher, and then her brother as if finally understanding our situation. It seemed to dawn on her just how desperate our situation was. Excuse me, may I ask a question? She said. Do you mind, President? I'll allow it. However, please answer more quickly next time. Horikita slowly rose out of her chair. Earlier, you said that Sadu-kun called you over to the special building, but who exactly did Sadu call, and why? Komiya and the other Class C students looked at one another, as if saying, why is she asking that question now? Please answer. Horikita added those last two words to reinforce her aggressive style of questioning. Secretary Takabana allowed it. Komdu and I don't know why he called us over when we'd just finished up for the day and were changing. He said he wanted to talk to us for a minute. Wasn't the reason just that he didn't like us? So then, why exactly were you in the special building? Ishizaki-kun, you're not on the basketball team,
Ishizaki.
so you have no connection to this case.
Wait! That's right. Why was Ishizaki there? Why is our family Ishizaki there? He's not even part of
I
basketball.
think your presence there would be rather odd. Thanks.
True.
I came as a precaution. There were rumors that Sadu was violent. He's
Oh,
also in better
damn.
shape than we are.
That makes it
Physically,
sound
I had to
bad.
go, didn't I? So, in other words, you felt the situation might turn violent? Yeah, they answered in unison, almost as if they'd expected these questions. It appeared that the Class C students had thoroughly rehearsed for this conference. I see, so you
Rehearsed for this conference, but they did come prepared, way more prepared than we did.
brought along Ishizaki-kun as your bodyguard, since he was reputed to be rather good at fighting, just in case there was an emergency. It was to protect ourselves, that was it. Besides, we didn't know that Ishizaki-kun was known for being good in a fight. We just considered him a reliable friend. Horikita quietly listened to the responses, as if running various simulations in her head. Then she immediately made her next move. I do have some knowledge of martial arts, if only to a certain extent. I understand that when you're
I don't know what kind of martial arts she does know. She was doing like judo, right? I think Ibuki was doing like fucking capoeira, but like I feel like Suzune was doing like judo or aikido or something, just like flipping people.
fighting against multiple enemies, victory becomes exponentially more difficult. So I don't understand how you would defeat
Karate?
it so handily.
Really? I thought what she was doing was like judo flipping people.
How the fight could be so one-sided, when you had a skilled fighter like Ishizaki-kun with you. because we didn't intend to fight. The primary factor in triggering a fight is the collision of the energy between opponents. In the event that you don't have any intention of fighting, or that you're non-violent, the probability that you'll be hurt should be very low, especially when there are 3 of you. Horikita's opinion was very
Okay, so we're just going with like it's 1v3, bro. 1v3 is pretty hard, but now we're just going back and forth of, oh, we're wimps. Back and forth of, oh, Sadu's so violent and we're weak and we got the injuries to prove it.
objective, grounded in evidence, rules, and her own logic. On the other end, Kamiya fought back with his own weapon, real evidence. That way of
Exactly,
thinking doesn't
real
apply to
evidence.
Sadukan. He's exceptionally violent. Even if we were non-violent, he'd still be mercilessly violent. That's what happened. He peeled off the gauze that covered his cheek, exposing the scrapes underneath. No matter how many reasonable arguments Horikita made, his injury gave powerful evidence. Are you finished with your claims now, Class D? Said Horikita's older brother coolly. After staying silent while Horikita gave her argument, his words were few and icy. His look seemed to suggest that if that was all we had to say, it would have been better not to say anything at all. It's true that Sadu injured the other students.
Manabu basically telling us just like, you're making yourself look bad, just shut up.
However, Class C started the fight. There is one student witness who saw the entire incident and can attest to this. Well then, Class D, if Class D's witness would please enter. Sakura, looking worried and restless, walked into the student council
Great.
room. She looked
The most useless character has entered. Surely she's not gonna let us down, right?
down at her feet, as if scared of danger. 1D, Sakura Eri-san. I thought I'd heard something or other about a witness,
Uh-oh.
but you're a Class D student? Sakagami, the Class C's homeroom instructor, snickered while wiping his glasses. Is there a problem, Sakagami-sensei? No.
Why is he
Please,
laughing?
Go ahead, Sakagami-sensei and Chaba.
Why is the teacher just straight up laughing as soon as Sakura entered? You know, that's kind of a dub t-shirt because fuck Sakura.
Ashira-sensei exchanged looks. You may begin your testimony,
What?
if you wouldn't mind.
Why are they snickering? why are they snickering and looking around?
Sakura-san. Why yes, okay, well,
Sakura did. Yeah, Sakura did protect Koenji. Sakura didn't protect Koenji. Sakura simply admitted that Koenji was better than her. Sakura has no influence on Koenji not getting expelled. No, I refuse. I refuse to admit that. Nope, Koenji's gonna be totally fine. Sakura had no part in it. I don't care if she vouched for Koenji. It wouldn't have made a difference. Nope, nope.
She stopped speaking. A period of silence followed. 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Sakura steadily looked further downward, and her face became increasingly pale. Sakura-san. Horikita, unable to take any more, addressed Sakura. Unlike before, the words didn't seem to reach her. Apparently she didn't witness anything. More of this
Great.
would just be a waste of our time. Why are
Wasting
you in
our
such a hurry?
time!
Sakagami-sensei, I want to speed this along. If we waste time, my students will suffer. These students are the joyful heart of their class, so I've no doubt that their many friends are worried about them. Also,
What? Is the C teacher straight up saying? Oh, Ryuen and his buddies are so worried about you know these three. They're such good friends. The longer we're here, the more that they're worried. Their hearts they wouldn't know what to do if this court case kept going on. What the fuck?
so they're striving to improve their basketball skills. And we
Improve basketball skills, my ass. They're not even in the starting roster. They're a bunch of bench kids.
depriving them of valuable practice time. As a teacher, I can't overlook this. I see. You're probably right about
That's
that.
crazy.
You think
That's
that
crazy, dude.
Sensei would ally herself with Class D, but that didn't seem to be the case. Instead, she nodded in apparent agreement with Sakagami-sensei. You're certainly right that this is a waste of time, so I suppose we have no choice. You can come down now, Sakura. Shabashira-sensei ordered Sakura to leave, almost as if she'd lost interest.
Dude, Sakura showed up, did nothing, and then was told to leave. She is straight up more useless than I could have possibly have imagined. What did she just do? She literally walked in. The fucking teacher laughed at Sakura and said, "We're wasting time here. Yo, Ihisaki and her friends, the Class C kids are fucking waiting on their friend." She did nothing. Nothing.
The student council members didn't ask for a delay or anything. The writing was clearly
She didn't even. Bro, she is even more useless. She is even more useless in the light novel. How do you defend a character like this in this show? It's like straight up. How is there any Sakura ID enjoyers in the light novel or in the anime? Now, people say that Sakura has her moment in the future, but like, holy shit, like right now, as of right now, how the fuck do you even like defend this character? How do you even say that this character matters? What? We wasted 5 fucking hours into this bitch trying to get answers out so that she can fucking testify for us, so that she doesn't like, and then she doesn't do anything. 5 fucking hours of build up into 30 seconds of her just showing up and saying fuck off. Oh my god. Oh my god. She sucks. She sucks more than I imagined. Like, she is the most useless character. Just absolutely trash. And people say like, what about Kushida? At least Kushida offers something to the story. Like, Kushida is 1,000 times better than Sakura. Kushida has done so much for the story. And like, yeah, you guys are gonna like, and this is where you have to separate the character from like, you know, your personal judgment. Cause like, yeah, Kushida is the fucking devil. Yes, we understand that. But what she's done for the story is so great. She makes the story so much more spicy. But like, Sakura has done nothing. Yamauchi's way better than Sakura, dude. Yamauchi at least makes me laugh. Yamauchi had a fucking Marikita moment, dude. Yamauchi, Ike, and Sadu, low-key, whenever they're alone and we're doing like a Anakoji scene with them, low-key, those scenes are like the highlight of this Classroom of the Elite light novel session. They're hilarious. Sakura is useless.
On the student council room wall, and it spelled Class D's defeat. Sarah closed her eyes tightly, as if she couldn't bear it anymore, as if she regretted her
Leave,
own weakness.
bitch.
Even
Leave.
Sudden, Horikita, and I felt like this was impossible for Sakura, and mentally
Cry
resigned
about it.
herself. Then, it happened. An unexpected voice reverberated throughout the room. I definitely saw what happened. It was certainly Sakura's voice, though it took me several seconds to recognize it. What most struck me was the volume of her voice. The students in Class C threw the first punch. There's no mistake about that. Sakura's words had
Hold up, she's
belied
talking?
the image she presented at first. She spoke so desperately that you wanted to believe she was telling the truth. She certainly made me believe it. However, much like a magical spell, the effect lasted for only a few minutes.
Because where's the proof? This is your own class vouching for your own class. Like, what, you gonna believe this shit? Like, obviously you're gonna say that shit. Like, straight up, where's the evidence?
If the audience remained calm, it wouldn't be difficult for them to see through it. Excuse me, but may I say something? Asked Sakagami-sensei, raising his hand. Normally, teachers are asked to speak as little as possible, but this situation is just too pitiful. Student Council President, do you mind? I'll allow it.
This
In
situation
regards
is too
to what you
pitiful?
said, Sirakan, I do not necessarily doubt you. However, I have one thing to ask. You've stepped forward to testify as a witness, but you were rather late in doing so. May I ask why?
Exactly. This is a thing that we mentioned before. Her showing up at the very end, dude, bro, fucking Chabashira specifically mentioned this. Sakura showing up too late to testify is suspicious. It's even more suspicious. Why would you wait this long, right?
I would think if you really did see
Now we know that she's a fucking coward and she's too nervous and shy, but yeah, but like that plays against this. Like, it looks so bad. It looks so suspicious.
something, you would have come forward much earlier. Sakagami-sensei harped on the same point that Chabashira-sensei had. I didn't want to get involved. Why didn't you want to get involved? Because I'm not very good at talking with other people. I see. I understand that. However, I'd like to say something else. You're not good at talking with others, and yet when the week was nearly out you stepped forward as a witness. Doesn't that seem rather odd to my
You're not good at talking to others.
mind? It seems Class D secretly put a story together and are having you act as a false witness.
It truly, like, we know that's a lie, but like, it totally seems that way.
To give phony testimony. After conferring together, the Class C students answered that they thought so, too. I'm just not telling the truth. No matter how poor your communication skills might be, I can see you haven't testified with much confidence. Is that because you're tormented with guilt? Because
Oh,
you know
God.
what you're saying is actually a lie? No, that's not it.
We're getting
I'm not blaming
cooked.
You were probably forced to lie for your class's sake, to save Sadukan, weren't you?
This fucking teacher Sakagami is an S-grade yapper. He is good at this. No one can communicate on our side. You know who we need right now? You know from Snafu? You know the fucking student council president? The fucking, we need to use logic to think about this logically. We need someone like him on our side, because we have no yappers on our side right now. All we have are a bunch of acoustic motherfuckers that can't talk for shit. We need a yapper. Where is our yappers?
If you come forward and
Yes, right. And Chabashira just sitting here like this. Just watching us get fucking dunked on, because Chabashir doesn't give a fuck.
Yes, honestly to us now.
Chabashir probably
We
still
won't be
thinking right
punished.
now. Chabashir is probably thinking right now that if you can't get your if you can't manage this to solve this by yourself, then you're not worth it. Prove to me that you can do this. That's why her mindset probably is.
The teacher's relentless psychological attacks just kept coming. Of course, Horikita raised her hand. That is not the case. It is certainly true that Sigura-san is not good at speaking before others. However, it is precisely because she witnessed the incident that she is standing here today. Otherwise, she most likely would not. Even if we'd asked
Alright.
her, don't
Where's
you
the
think
proof,
that
though?
if we needed someone who could speak boldly, we would have found a replacement? I don't think so. There are excellent students in Class D.
Yo, we should have gotten Yamauchi to testify. Yamauchi is a yapper, dude. Yamauchi is a very confident yapper. I don't know how well it would go, but goddamn, he would start fucking making shit up here, dude.
Such as yourself, Horikita-san. By setting up a person like Sigura-san as your witness, it would establish a sense of realism that you yourself could not. Sakagami-sensei probably didn't actually believe this. However, no matter what response we volleyed back, I was convinced that he'd do anything to block us, just
Yeah, bro is fucking just S-class fucking lawyer.
as I'd felt from the start. A Class D witness did not carry enough weight. No matter how many times we stressed the truth, they would say that we were
If only Ichinose was here and we could get a Class B to testify, but that would be a lie.
lying. If the testimony came from someone on your side, they wouldn't accept it. Had we run out of options? Sakagami-sensei gave a hostile grin as he began to sit back down. If you want proof, I'll give it to you. Sakagami-sensei froze in response to Soro's words. Please,
Wait.
let's not force this situation to continue.
Proof?
If there really was evidence, you would have presented it at an earlier stage. Sora loudly slammed her hand on the desk and
Oh!
threw down what looked to be a few small, rectangular pieces of paper.
SD
What are
card!
those? Because she'd produced something other
SD
than words.
card!
Sakagami-sensei's expression stiffened for the first time. This is
Nani?
proof that I was in the special building that day.
Why the fuck did we wait so long to give the SD card?
Secretary to the banner walked over to Sigura, though she hesitated at first. She then reached for the paper. No, those weren't pieces of paper like I'd thought. They were photos. President, after looking at the photographs, Secretary to the
wait.
banner handed them
It's not SD card, it's just actual photographs? Oh, okay.
over to the student council president, Horikita's older brother. After looking at the pictures for some
You
time,
had picture
laid them
proof
out
the
on
entire
desk so that
time?
we could see. We saw Sigura in those pictures, but this Sigura wore a lovely expression that looked both similar and dissimilar to the Sigura with us.
Did this bitch just leak her OnlyFans? Did this bitch just fucking show this? Did she literally just show this to Manabu right now? Manabu is looking at the pictures. And of all the pictures that you procured, you included this? You included this?
Us now. It was the idol, Shizaku.
Why would you include this? He's definitely gonna keep it. Why would you show this? I don't get it.
I was looking for places where no one was around so I could take pictures of myself.
Okay. The entire reason why she was in the special building when Sadu was fighting the Class C students was she was looking for an isolated area to take selfies. And that's the only proof we have. We don't have proof of pictures of the fight. We only have Sakura posing for fucking lewd selfies in this building. Maybe Sadu is involved though. Maybe he's in the background.
Pictures also show the date and time, which proves
Okay.
that I was there when I said. The date on the pictures definitely shows
Okay, so we have the dates of the fight, and we are also in the same building. But did you see the fight though?
been taken in the evening 1 week ago. That would have been around the time that Sadu and the others finished their club activities for the day. Horikita and I unintentionally gasped in response to this new evidence.
Gasp.
We began to see changes in the 3 Class C students, who up until now had been playing the part of victims. They were visibly shaking. What did you use to take these photos? Asked Sakagami-sensei. A digital dot camera. You can alter the date rather easily with a digital camera, though. If you manipulated these photos on a computer, you could effectively set them at the time and date of
He is right. You can't fake these data though.
the incident. This are inadequate evidence. But Sakagami-sensei, don't you think this photo is different? Horikita's older brother slid out one of the photos we hadn't yet seen and handed it to the teacher. This? The photo showed the fight itself. Clearly there was no need to nitpick the time. The setting sun bathed the hallway in dusky light. The picture seemed to show what had happened immediately after Sado hit Ishizaki. I think that you'll believe I was there after seeing this. Thank you.
The
Sakura-san.
order of events
This
is not good
picture
enough
had
though, right?
absolutely saved Harukitu as well. To rescue such an overwhelmingly disadvantageous situation. I see. Well, you do seem to be telling the truth about witnessing the incident.
Wait.
That much I simply must accept. However, I can't ascertain how the situation started from this picture. This doesn't prove that you saw the entire
Like, now we're going into like who started it, right? Like, fuck.
incident. It was
You're just proving that, sure, the fight did happen and you were there, but like, how did it start? And until we can prove that, it's just like, we're still in the wrong.
certainly true that this picture made it look like the fight had already ended. We couldn't call this definitive evidence. So, what do you think, Chabashira-sensei? Why not look for a compromise here? Sakagami-sensei asked. Compromise? I'm convinced that Sado-kun lied in his testimony, you jerk. Sado stood up, looking ready to fly out of his chair, but finally grabbed
Sado ready to fight the teacher too?
hold of his own arms and pinned himself down. No matter how long we go back and forth, we'll never reach an agreement. We won't change our testimony, and your side won't give up or admit that you conspired with a witness. In other words, you won't stop. It'll be an endless cycle of saying that the other side is lying. In addition, the picture is too inconclusive to be considered definitive proof. Therefore, I suggest we compromise. I do think that the students from Class C are responsible for some of the blame here. There were 3 students up against Sado, and one of them has a history of fighting, which is a problem. So how about 2 weeks of suspension for Sado-gun, and 1 week of suspension for my students? What do
I mean, is that the compromise that we settle for in the actual anime? Is this what happened? I guess this is like a decent way out. No expulsions happen. I'm not sure if suspensions lead to us losing points. It probably should, right?
you think of that? The weight of the punishment is different. Of course, but I think that matches the difference in sustained injuries. Harukita's older brother stayed silent as he listened to Sakagami-sensei. It seemed that Class C was willing to compromise only halfway. If we hadn't had Sakura's testimony or evidence, Sado-kun probably would have been suspended for over a month. Asking for less than half of that made this a considerable concession. Don't screw around.
I thought that it was gonna be like a total expulsion rather than a month of suspension.
This isn't a joke. Sado raged. Chabashira-sensei, what do you think? Sakagami-sensei didn't even glance at Sado. We seem to have already reached a logical conclusion. There's
Alright,
no
we're good.
reason to refuse Sakagami-sensei's proposal, Chabashira-sensei said. His proposal was certainly a reasonable compromise. Harukita looked up at the ceiling, as if quietly mulling over everything that had gone on so far. No matter how much we resisted, Sado wouldn't be acquitted entirely without conclusive evidence. Harukita had known this from the very beginning. She had concluded that we needed to reach a compromise. For a Class
is
C
alright.
student, Harukita was quite impressive. However, if she was aiming to make it to Class A, she couldn't give up here. I hadn't intended to speak out until the very
Wait.
end, but I decided to lend a helping hand.
Wait.
Perhaps out of respect for Sakura's earlier courage. Harukita, are we really out of options? I asked. Harukita did not respond. Well, did she even have any words left?
Do we
I'm not
have a
very
backup
smart,
plan?
So I can't really come up with a solution. I do, however, think that we probably should
Anako just straight up say I'm not very smart, so I can't come up with a solution.
accept the compromise that you have offered us, Sakagami-sensei. I said. Right, Sakagami-sensei replied with a smile, pushing his glasses back up his nose. We have no definitive proof of Sado's innocence. I suppose I should say such evidence.
Sakagami said as he pushes his glass up his nose. Yo, this is the classic anime glasses push-up meme. Bro, Sakagami thinks that he looks like him right now, bro. Yeah, Adakoji is a false ranker. This fucking teacher. This fucking teacher just won a battle of like fucking, I don't know. It's just like a debate against like a socially awkward Sakura. I totally just bodied you. Yes. Bro is having the time of his life right now. Sakagami, that's all he gets. His only fucking pleasure he gets in life is destroying fucking high school students, especially those bad at communicating in a battle of wits.
Just doesn't exist. If this event had occurred in a classroom or the convenience store, a greater number of students would have been around to see it, and there probably would have been sound evidence. There's no record of anyone watching this scene unfold. Since this event took place in the special building, where there weren't any people around, there's nothing we can do. I sighed deeply and shook my head. I looked straight into Harukita's eyes, and she gazed back at me. I spoke as if we were accepting defeat. I understand why we're
Susan
having
ain't
this
nothing?
discussion, no matter how much we appeal to the contrary.
We got nothing left?
Class C won't admit that they lied. Sadu won't admit that he lied, either. We really would just keep going back and forth. Honestly, it's getting to the point where I would have been happier never having had this discussion in the first place. Don't you agree? Horikita cast her eyes down. I wondered what she was thinking. If she took my words only at surface value, then things would end here. So, that's it, yes? Well, Class D Representative Horikita-san, please give your opinion on the matter. Sakagami-sensei had taken what I'd said literally. In other words, as a declaration of defeat. For Class C, victory meant not allowing Sadu to be acquitted. The teacher's expression indicated that he had won this match. I understand. Horikita
Are we just
answered,
giving up or
slowly
what?
Looking back up, Horikita. Sadu cried. It was the roar of a man who, more than anyone else, did not want to admit defeat. He couldn't. However, Horikita did not stop there. She continued with her closing remarks. I think that Sadu, who caused the incident, has a problem. He doesn't ever stop to consider his actions.
Did you just, what the fuck did you just say? Suzune is continuing with her closing remarks.
I think that Sadu, who caused the
I think that Sadu, who caused the incident, is how you start the closing remark. You just straight up throw Sadu under the bus and you say that he started the incident? What?
incident has a problem. He doesn't ever stop to consider.
Let her cook. There's nothing to cook. She just straight up nuked Sadu already before we even started. What the fuck? You start the final remark by saying Sadu is guilty?
Consider his actions, which inconveniences everyone around him. He
All
has a
right.
history of
Is the only way we get out of this is by pleading for insanity and say that, you know, Sadu is retarded and that he should not be treated this way because he has, you know, difficulties. That's the only way that we can pivot this intro into something positive for Sadu, you know? Plead for insanity.
getting in fights. He's the type to raise his voice and fists right away whenever something displeases him. In the event of an uproar such as this, well, it should be obvious who caused it. Hey, you need to understand, Sadu, your attitude caused all of this. Horikita glared intensely over at Sadu, almost as if to outdo Sadu's own ferocity. This is why I wasn't motivated at all to help Sadu-kun in the beginning. I knew that even if I forced myself to lend a hand, he would just repeat the same mistakes again and again. A very honest answer. The matter seems settled now, wouldn't you say? Thank you very much. Please take your seat now, Secretary Takabana said to Horikita.
How does this help? We were about to close off the court session saying, all right, let's just take a 2-week suspension for you. That's fair, right? And then the coach is like, yo, Suzune, are we done? Are you sure we're done? And Suzune is like, you right. We got something left. Here, let me give you a final closing remark. Sadu started this shit. He sucks, and he will never learn from his lesson. Thank you. Am I crazy? That's what's happening to me. I'm literally just explaining what is happening right now.
A period of silence followed. After that came Sadu's clearly irritated bellow. And then, even after 5, then 10 seconds of waiting, Horikita did not sit back down. Will you take your seat now? Secretary Takabana asked Horikita to sit once again. As if
Wait,
she suspected that
she's not
Horikita
sitting yet?
didn't hear her. Yet Horikita still did not sit.
She's not
She
sitting
fixated
yet?
on the teachers, continuing to stare out at them. He should reflect on his actions. However, not in this particular case. When I say he should reflect, I mean that he should look back on his past actions. In regards to this particular incident, however, I don't think Sadu-kun did anything wrong. This was not an unfortunate event that occurred merely by chance. I'm convinced that this was a deliberate move made by Class C.
So you go in with the assumption that Sadu sucks and that he's violent, and then this somehow plays into how Class C deliberately manipulated Sadu because they know that Sadu is like that.
I
Okay.
have absolutely no intention of meekly accepting defeat. Horikita broke the long silence with these haughty words. So then, what do you mean? Horikita's older brother looked at his younger sister for the first time. Horikita did not shrink under his gaze. She
Oh,
probably
wait.
felt that this
Nissan's
wasn't
watching.
the time to be frightened, that she had to be brave in front of Sakura. Or perhaps she could see the path to a final resolution. If you did not understand, I will say it once again. We claim that Sadu-kun is completely innocent.
Okay.
Therefore, we cannot accept his suspension from school, even for just 1 day. Haha, what can
I don't really know if that really helps your argument if you kind of lead in by saying that, yeah, he probably caused this shit. Yeah, we know that he's violent. Yeah, he's fucking dumb. But because he's like that, and because he's had a history of violence, somehow Class C is at fault because they manipulated us into putting in this situation. Does that make sense? We still have no proof though.
I even say we did this intentionally. What a bizarre claim.
What a bizarre
Apparently,
claim
the
indeed.
Student council president's younger sister can't help but spew nonsense. Sadu-kun is the victim, just as the witness testified. Please do not make any errors in your judgment. The Class C students began to shout insistently. Don't screw around. I'm the victim here. Sadu, compelled by the shouting, raised his own voice again. The objections came
Oh
fast
god,
and
this is a
furious.
fucking gong
Everyone
show,
understood
man.
that we would not find a solution this way. That's enough. Continuing this discussion would just be a waste of time. Horikita Manabu looked at us as if we were just swapping lies in a giant mudslinging match. What I've learned today is that each side has an exact opposite claim. In that case, one side is propagating an extremely malicious falsehood. Deals
Yeah.
which class was lying to the school. If this fact became known, the consequences would be greater than suspension. I'll ask you, Class C, have you lied to us today? Oh, not of
Oh.
course not. Well, what about you? Class D,
Nope,
I
we
haven't
haven't lied.
Everything
Nope,
we've said
no
has been
lies.
the truth. Then we will regroup here for a retrial tomorrow
Oh, the retrial!
at 4 p.m. If by then it hasn't been clearly established which party has lied, or in the event no one admits that they were at fault, we will pass judgment based on the evidence we've collected thus.
I think that's where we're gonna stop today's fucking stream, dude. Getting fucking nowhere with. I hate this fucking arc. I fucking hate this shit. The only reason I'm fucking watching it right now is to get to the don't pry into my life scene, dude. But holy shit, this is. Oh my fucking god, dude, this shit's taking fucking forever. But ladies and gentlemen, anybody can guess what video I got for you saved up? Can anyone guess what video I got for you after stream? Anybody guess? Anybody guess? I wish it was solo leveling, but I'm still in solo leveling fucking jail, man. I just can't give you the video because like YouTube's fucking me. Cut content? I'll probably upload cut content later. But I got Cautious Hero. Put this girl in jail. Goddess Mythis. It is Kimichi Day today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for showing up to the morning stream. I appreciate it. But 9 a.m. means that it's time for me to go to work so I can continue to pay the bills. But it's not over yet because I have Cautious Hero for you. And tonight, we'll have Skimichi Moon Fantasy over on Twitch. We'll probably do an episode of Snafu Finale. Do Cautious Hero and Spider. And that's it from me. I don't know when solo leveling is going to go up. But I'll probably upload the solo leveling Dark Aria reaction sometime too. So please go show this video some love. Just like you showed me love in today's stream. And until next time, take care, guys. Go to the video. Juice it up, guys. Juice it up, guys. Bye-bye. I'll see you tonight over on Twitch, okay? Bye-bye.